What it do, peoples? Okay, so I'm really excited and you're probably wondering what this is, so I'm about to show you. I'm so freaking excited and I feel so fucking amazed, grateful, and abundant right now. Um, I haven't yet gotten to edit my video on honeysuckles, so I'll be doing that before I even get to this video. So by the time you watch this video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you'll watch this before the honeysuckle video. Who knows how you got to this video? But point is that just the other day, Wednesday, I finally listened to my intuition and went outside, out there. You see the beautiful trees out there. Um, and it was morning time, about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I went and looked for honeysuckles and plucked honeysuckle blossoms until I had enough to make a honeysuckle maceration. It's basically like an essential, I'm making honeysuckle essential oil, but there's an actual much more complex process that involves some things that I don't have, but a really easy way to still basically make essential oil is with through the maceration processes, which is what I did with grapeseed oil. So it is currently in my closet, which is dark, no sunlight, and it'll be there for 6 to 8 weeks. And then it'll be complete. Then I just strain out the honeysuckle blossoms, and voila, I have honeysuckle essential oil that I can use in food, on my body. I can just take it by itself. There's health benefits to it. And I personally, once you see the honeysuckle video, you will see there is truly some very deep magic, fairy magic in honeysuckle. Also, I found one or two sources that say that it actually helps with your emotions, your mood, to help elevate and also balance, which is great because for those women who are about to be on their moon cycle, or if you're just having like a crazy fucking day or week or whatever, stressed out, for those who might have anxiety, people who have bipolar disorder, any kind of mood swing, stuff like that, this is great for that. So I thought this was freaking amazing. Um, for me, as you'll see in the other video, is that when we moved here, I immediately was drawn to the tree line, this beautiful forest that just surrounds us. And there were certain things that just kept catching my eye, and I was very curious about it. And one was from our patio, our porch, something looked very white, silverish, so I kept thinking they were honeysuckles. And when I went to them, they weren't. There's some kind of tree shrub with these leaves that almost have a silver sheen to them. And I was like, wow, you tricked me. You know, I thought you were honeysuckles. But later on, I actually did find honeysuckles, and it's crazy and beautiful because I guess they grow and have a symbiotic relationship, because you'll see honeysuckles growing with this other plant that I'm talking about, which I'm going to share with you today. I'm actually going to share a few things with you. So I actually went back out today, this afternoon, and foraged a bit and just spoke with nature and spoke with this tree and honeysuckles and other flowers and the fairies in there. And it feels really good, really nourishing, really nurturing, grounding and calming, which is great. I really need that right now, especially with everything that's going on in our lives, right? And on top of that, just some stress, and we had someone in the family pass away, and so I'm trying to doing my best to be there for Ty as he grieves. And also the seasons are changing. We're going from summer into fall. The autumn equinox, I believe, is next weekend. So when seasons change, we really truly feel that on some level. For those who are really in tune, you'll really feel the shifting taking place. And if you're not that in tune or don't recognize it, it doesn't really matter, because you, even if you believe it or not, you're very much connected to nature and Mother Earth, everything going on. So you are being affected. You're being affected by the weather changes, your body, depending on your elemental makeup, your doshas, it's affecting you. So for me, I have a lot of vata. I have a lot of air. I'm primarily tridoshic, but also can lean more towards having a lot of vata at times, especially because of the lifestyle I have and things that have occurred in my life. So if my vata gets too high, which it tends to happen, I get very airy, like very disconnected from my body, Mother Earth, and I'm very much either just tuned into other realms, and so just not really paying attention to anything going on planet Earth, or the fact that I'm human, and that has, for me, it didn't really cause problems, but it does irritate a lot of other people. It also, if your vata is really high, there is a negative side to it. You can also be in your mind too much, where you're thinking too much. You're just got these run-on thoughts and can obsess in your mind over things. Um, so that's just for me. Also, my fire can get a bit high, so I'll kind of get moody, or at least physically, I've been having some hot flashes. Um, or just random bouts of irritation. So I mean, it depends on your doshas and what happens, and everything fluctuates from the kapha, the earth, to pitta, the fire, to vata, the air, ether. So it depends, but the seasons are changing, and with that, it is really great to find some way to help ground yourself or balance your elements as the seasons change. So autumn is a vata season. We're going into a much cooler, windy season, so that's much more vata. So for those who have a lot of vata, right now we need more grounding. So me being outside was very grounding for me, very nurturing, helped bring me back into my body, to breathe and to connect with Mother Nature and my fairy friends. Without further ado, I want to share this beautiful abundance with you. I picked honeysuckles Wednesday into the maceration. And then on, I believe, Thursday or Friday, I was doing laundry and I saw two cute older Asian women outside sitting up on the hill by the tree line and talking, and just sitting there. So at first I didn't think anything, I just thought it was two friends chatting. So then I continued to do my laundry, and next thing you know, I see, when I look back over, they are standing up by the tree line. They have baskets, and I see them like picking something and putting it into their baskets. And I'm like, "Ooh, oh my God, I want to know. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know what it is. Are they picking honeysuckle too?" But I noticed that they were by the plant tree with the silver leaves that I primarily thought was honeysuckle, but it's not. So I walked up to one of the ladies, introduced myself, and asked her if she could share with me what she was doing. She spoke enough English, broken English, to explain to me. She is from Korea, both of them. We do have a large Korean population where we're at. It's actually pretty diverse. So she told me that they were picking for these. And it's crazy because I've seen them before. I'm going to bring it up closer and see if the camera will zoom in, if it'll focus. Will it focus? Doop. Up, there we go. There we go. I really, really, really want you to be able to see this well. Okay, let's get some good light. Okay, I hope you can see that. It's focusing in, so as you can see, this berry, it's so cute, isn't it? And it's so funny because it kind of, the colors remind me of a fly amanita. The mushroom, the fly amanita mushroom that everybody has as an emoji, okay? Right? But actually, fly amanitas are very sacred and very sacred plant medicine to work with. that I have not yet had the amazing opportunity, but will soon. That is definitely a goal. These beauties, these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful berries are called, drumroll, autumn olive. Autumn olive, and there's another name, but I really like the name autumn olive. But whatever the other name is, if it comes to me, I'll tell you. But I'm gonna provide links anyways. So they're called autumn olives, and I know many of us, when we're outside, we kind of think that these are. You kind of look at berries and you just immediately go, they're poisonous. Well, guess what? These are not. She told me. She said in ancient Eastern herbal remedies and healing. This was fantastic, by the way, too. I just love speaking to people from other places. I always have, and I love when they can't speak that much English. It just, I don't know. Okay. Oh my God. It's like these here are sweet with a hint of tartness, and then I have some that are actually a little bit more tart on the bitter side. So these have actually been blooming longer and have ripened more, so they're sweeter. I'm very, very lucky that squirrels and birds didn't get to them first. Wowza. So she told me in her beautiful broken English that these are very, very good for you. And it's so funny because I couldn't remember anything else she said except the fact that she kept rubbing her belly. She kept patting her belly and then going, blood, woman, blood. And I was like, oh, menstrual cycle, the moon cycle. She was like, yes, it's good for that. The other amazing thing is that I had cramps. I was on my moon cycle and am on my moon cycle. I'm on it right now. And I was having cramps that day. Really bad cramps. And then when I went and talked to her and she was explaining, she handed me a berry. And so I was like, okay. At first I was kind of scared. I'm like, don't, just do it. So I popped one in my mouth and I was like, woo, because the one she gave me was really tart. I was like, wow, okay. She was like, yeah. And then she explained the quality. She was like, right, bitter, astringent, sweet. And I found that so interesting because in Ayurveda, it's the very same thing where there are qualities that are in foods that are looked at to explain a food and how that is good or not good for someone with a particular dosha or mix of doshas. So I found it really cool that she was able to explain these qualities. And really, from what she's saying, this would be good for basically any dosha from my remembering of Ayurveda, because and the word escapes me when it has these multiple qualities, but basically when it has multiple qualities like that, like bitter yet sweet yet astringent and this and that, they do quite a lot of things for your body and balance out doshas. So I thought that was fucking fantastic. And I will tell you that after my conversation with her and I went inside, my cramps had disappeared. But I didn't realize it because, I was doing laundry and I was multitasking, and then I had to drive an hour to go somewhere and so a bunch of stuff. But then finally, when my mind wasn't focused on all this other stuff, I tuned back into my body and realized my pain was gone. So ladies, I wanted to share that with you. This is called autumn olive. And the amazing thing is that this can be found practically everywhere. I mean, I'm in the Midwest, what they call the Midwest. I'm in Kentucky, and I realize that I've been seeing this for a long time. It kind of looks like mistletoe, right? It's really, really, really beautiful. The story, I'm not going to tell you the story about it because I found sources. I found two really cool dudes on YouTube who explain where this comes from and how to identify it. And so I will provide those links for you, definitely. And I actually also asked one of the trees if they would give me permission. I wanted to be able to show you. I wanted to be able to give you an example so that you don't get it mixed up with the honeysuckle berries, because the honeysuckle actually has fruit too. They're easy to spot because like I showed you, the berries, it reminds me of a fly amanita because of all the little freckles, the little dots all over them. But when you get very close, you kind of realize they're like a little gold flecks. They're like gold, brown, bronze freckles. And if you run your finger on the berry, it does have some texture to it. I guess the little freckles are kind of raised up. I don't know. It's really cool. And they're really cute. They actually do look like mini apples. They look like tiny little apples, and I'm not kidding you. Like they have the little, on each side, a dimple, you know, on the exact opposite side. And another way to recognize them is that their leaves, which is what had been calling out to me when we first got here, is that the leaves are very, very distinct. The bottoms of them are basically like iridescent. So I don't know if it's gonna, can you see how it looks lighter? And I also had went and plucked some leaves without berries, so you can kind of see it. When you're outside, you're gonna notice it. If you're outside, you're gonna see like a tree or a bush with the sunlight on it, with the sunlight not on it. You're just gonna be like, wow, something's up with that tree. Something's up with that bush. It kind of looks silver. It's on the back side of the leaf. The front side will kind of look, it's gonna look green, but also it has freckles too, silverish freckles. Okay, that's the front side of the leaves. And then on the back side, it's going to have this silvery shine to it. I would definitely still recommend you watch both of those dudes or one of them because they explain it much better to you, and they explain the health benefits. So the other amazing thing about these berries, oh my God. I was like, okay, this must be another reason why the fairies were calling me to them. So the berries have 17 times more lycopene. I think that's how you say it. Lycopene than tomatoes. But there are so many health benefits to these amazing berries, and the dudes explain it as well. So I highly recommend that you go watch and listen to their videos. And they'll explain it all to you. She also told me that she was collecting these leaves, which at the time when I was there listening to her, I didn't realize that the leaves were to the berries. She told me that she was collecting the leaves, and then she kept trying to say asthma. I figured it out. She was saying it a different way, but basically she said that if you can't breathe, if you have asthma problems, you can take the leaves and you make a tea. I have like a handful here. What I decided to do is that I'm gonna try all of this stuff first, and then, you know, make sure I'm doing it correctly, and then go out and forage for more. Just now separated everything, and I'm gonna show it to you again so I can explain what I'm doing here, okay? Here I have my autumn olives, okay? Look how beautiful they are. This is not a coincidence. It's truly not. This is how spirit works. This is how your soul can work. If you truly pay attention and pay attention to what you're feeling, things that you're drawn to, and give it attention so that you can figure out what it is that's being called to you, what's being asked of you. And it turns out that, oh, there you go. See? There, you can see the beautiful dots. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So it turns out that Mama Earth and my fairies, they have been trying to get my attention to help me out because, me and Ty have been going through a lot of changes, and that includes financial changes. And so the things I've been eating has changed, and I have not been able to consume some things I used to consume. So I've been missing out on some nutrients, and now I have something right in our backyard that is going to be giving me insane amounts of vitamin A. I remember it has a ton of vitamin A and the lycopene, and it also helps with your eyesight, which I have been noticing something's going on with my eyes. I know it's partly because of the nutrition thing that I have not been able to eat everything that I would like to eat. But also I am definitely going through some more ascension stuff because I'm getting some of my sight back. I'm starting to see things again, basically that you normally wouldn't see with your physical eyes. Okay, now we're gonna move over to this. These are honeysuckle blossoms that have not yet fully blossomed out and, blossomed into the trumpet-like shape. I was doing research and found out that if you go ahead and forage and harvest the honeysuckles when they are still like this, and then you let them dry. I'm going to air dry them. That's why I only grabbed a few, and I made sure to ask permission. I asked each one I went up to, I asked if they were ready. If they were ready to let me know to just pop off their branch, their stem, and come with me. And these are the ones that agreed to. I wanted to make sure I only grabbed just, this isn't even a handful. It's, just enough like that. To experiment first and make sure I do it correctly before I go out and grab a bunch. I don't want to just pull a bunch of life off its main source and then not do it correctly. And I have great reverence for the honeysuckle now, and after the experience I had the other day. Honeysuckle has an amazing aura, an amazing healing property energy to it, and so I have great respect, and it's very sacred. The reason why I want to make a tea now, not just the maceration, is that these have a cooling effect on the body. And so I was telling you about how the seasons are changing. And so people with a lot of pitta, fire, I have fire, a lot of fire, and so does Ty. And also when a woman is about to menstruate or is menstruating, her fire increases. And so that means the body can overheat. You can have hot flashes. So this honeysuckle blossoms have a very cooling effect, and they're anti-inflammatory and even fight against colds and flus, I believe. So I'm going to dry these beauties out. I'm going to let them air dry and then store them in a container, either a little paper bag or airtight glass jar, and use it for tea. I went ahead and I did grab some honeysuckles that were also ready to go. Ask permission, of course, and these are the ones that said yes. I actually wanted to, because you can also make tea from blossomed honeysuckle. But with my research, I found out that when the honeysuckle is in this form, it has way more nutrients. The fragrance, the essential oils, and something else. So this is why you want to harvest them like this before they open up into the trumpet shape. Also, I noticed a lot of obviously Westerners on YouTube were gathering honeysuckles like this and then making tea, like just taking the blossoms like this, not drying it out, immediately putting, like grabbing a lot, and then they put it in with hot water and let it steep. So I'm going to try both variations, the trumpet honeysuckle tea, and like this. And I'll let you know what happens. And then, of course, I grabbed the leaves so that I could also have this handy for whenever we have any kind of breathing issues, which I have been actually having a little bit of breathing issues. It's a mix of things from stress to the seasons changing, like I said. And I'm around way more plants and things that I was not around on our land. So I'm kind of, my body's trying to adjust to it. And also I have been eating dairy, not gonna lie, and dairy can cause mucus. Not can, it does. It definitely will create mucus in the body. So that's what's going on with me. So anyways, yeah, that is what I'm gonna do. I am so fucking excited. Woohoo! Oh, the other thing, so the berries, let me finish about that. You can eat them fresh, obviously. And right now I have see, there goes the mucusy thing. Right now I've got a mix. These bigger ones that I found when I walked further, I found plumper. They're a little bit bigger, and I was like, ooh, let me try. And they are not as tart. They're sweeter. Sweet with it's like astringent, a little bit drying and tart. But then I have some that are still ripening, and so they are more bitter. Definitely more sour. It'll make you kind of go, woo, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Woo. And either way, they're still really healthy for you. I'm actually going to keep some out for me and Ty to just pop in our mouths, you know, as a snack and for nutrients. But I'm actually going to freeze some so that I can add these into my smoothies. And I mean, there's seriously so many out there right now that I'm ecstatic. I'm like, holy freaking moly. That and I don't feel bad about going and foraging for them, because when you listen to these guys, you will find out that this plant is actually invasive, so, and it grows easily, so it can easily take up a lot of space. But when you listen to these guys, especially the second guy, so his video is longer, he will explain, go into more detail about what this plant does, what the tree does. And so it truly is helping our land. It's helping our soil. It's helping our earth. So a lot of people apparently hate these things and have no idea how nutritious they are and how much of a blessing they are. I also want to share with you, insane, but doesn't surprise me. It surprises me, but doesn't. The honeysuckle and autumn olive, they are both from the East. They were both imported from the East. So they are well known and obviously native to Japan, Korea, and I believe China. So, excuse me, and I'm sorry if it's not from China, but there was one other country. I think it's China, but for sure Japan, Korea, and there's one more. So it makes complete sense why those ladies knew. Like, I, for a minute, didn't want to trust them, and then I was like, no, you've been called out to these plants, so just listen. And I mean, I was blessed with wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, that's wisdom there. That is ancient wisdom. This is something healing and that has been used for fucking centuries in the East, okay? So Westerners need to listen up. Like, we are truly, truly blessed with the honeysuckle, the autumn olive, and I'm sure way more. I would love to one day go out there with, I guess, the phone, not the webcam, and walk around and show you where I'm getting this stuff from. I mean, it's right outside my window and all around. But it would be great to just like show you what it looks like on the tree, you know, in nature before you pluck it. That'd be really, really, really cool. Other than that, that's all I wanted to share. I'm so fucking excited. Like, I love learning, and I love when I'm connecting back in and tuning in, and I love taking care of myself. And heck, you can't beat it. I mean, they're giving me permission to take of of them, to they're sharing their healing powers with me. One. Two, I don't have to go to a store and buy something that's been ground into a powder or jarred or canned or maybe stuffed with some kind of pesticides, whatever. I'm getting it right outside of my home. How cool is that? That's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this. Like, I know this is different, but yet it's not. You know what I mean? So it'll be really cool if, as I continue to grow and learn more, I would love to share more that I find, because this truly interests me. You have a beautiful, blessed day wherever you are. May you feel the fairy magic around you. Magical fairy blessings. Namaste. Mitakoe oyasi. Aloha nui.